Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about the one Honda I wouldn't buy, the Honda Odyssey van. Now, Honda generally makes excellent engines, they make excellent small cars, but their vans, not so much. And I know you might say, Scotty, they sell a lot of vans. Chrysler sold a whole bunch of Dodge Caravans and Plymouth Voyagers, and they were rolling piles of crap. But they had a lot of cup holders for the soccer moms, so they liked them. Now, on the positive side, most Honda Odyssey vans are not rolling piles of junk like the Chrysler minivans were. But as of 2022, Honda's no longer going to be making Honda Odyssey vans, and it says something. They got a big V6 engine, lots of power, but unlike their chief competitor, the Toyota Sienna van, they do not run virtually forever without problems. Throughout history, Honda Odyssey vans have some real serious problems. We'll begin with the most serious, the automatic transmission. Now, these are powerful V6 engines, but they're hooked up to a rather poorly made automatic transmission. Matter of fact, they were so bad that Honda had to replace thousands of them free for their customers, extended the warranty period. I had quite a few customers with them that did get free transmissions put in. But I've had even more customers with them that didn't get them fixed free. They said, oh, they're too many miles, it's out of warranty. They knew they built them wrong. They would just break up internally. Bad automatic transmission. The newer ones are better than the older ones to some extent, yes. With the history of problems like that, if you compare them to a Toyota Sienna that historically has almost no transmission failures at all, it would make no sense to buy one of these instead of a Toyota Sienna. Now, granted, the base Odyssey is about $2,500 less than a Toyota Sienna, $32,000 versus $34,500, whatever, but the Toyota is so much better made and it's going to last so much longer. You would be a fool to buy a Honda Odyssey van brand new. But it's not just the transmission. For quite a few years, they had problems with the back camshaft inside the engine on this V6 engine. Something about the thrust washer, something was wrong, and the cam started wobbling back and forth. You got to rebuild the engine for that. Costs an awful lot of money. Hardly anybody knows how to rebuild them correctly these days. You want a vehicle like that? Or do you want a Toyota Sienna that has a V6 engine that's virtually indestructible? This is a 2014. It's still got a rubber timing belt. Old technology. Now, 7 years before this 2014 Honda Odyssey was made, 7 whole years before, Toyota switched their V6 engine from a timing belt to a metal timing chain. They didn't update it fast enough. And realized this in 2020. These things still had timing belts, and they are interference engines. The belt breaks, the valves hit the pistons. You have to change the belt regularly. If you don't, you will destroy the engine. But I guess their theory is, well, we're not going to be making them after 2022, so why redesign everything? Bad move, Honda. Basically, as I said earlier, Honda makes great smaller cars. They're not a big car company. Van's a big vehicle, and these Odysseys have too many historical problems. When there's something like a Toyota Sienna van competing against it, they get blown out of the water by anybody who really understands how things last, how long they'll go. Sure, they got a lot of comforts, there's no arguing that. And they actually ride better than the Toyota vans, but they do not hold up like them. This particular one was recently purchased as a used vehicle and only has 100,000 miles on it. And so far, it served its owners well, so they got the original engine and transmission. But you're not going to get hundreds of thousands of miles of trouble-free driving out of an Odyssey like you would with a Sienna. So if you're buying it new and pay $2,500 less than a Sienna, and you're the type of person that's happy spending that kind of money and getting 100,000 trouble-free miles driving out of a vehicle, you'll probably be completely content. Now, this one's in here just for an inspection. He gets shaking and pulling when he's going 60. So let's check the front end. Now realize that the positively first thing you do if you got shaking or pulling, check the tire pressure of all tires. This one's 34.0. Let's check the left front. That's 33.0. It ain't gonna make that much difference, but we'll put another PSI in just to make it even. Now we'll check the left rear. 34.0. And the right rear. 35.0. So we'll let a pound out. Now it's 34. Now 1 pound too high in the back, 1 pound too low in the front. That's not really gonna affect anything. Let's jack it up. Look at the tires and suspension. Now we'll put the emergency brake on and put it in neutral so we can spin the tires. Now we can spin them and examine them. First thing we're going to do is look for lumps. Looks pretty straightforward. I don't see any out around this. And the tread itself looks decent. Worn, but not overly worn. It's a Continental Eco Plus. So let's go to the other side and bring our mass. Around we go. These are a different type of tire. You always want the same tire on each side. They're not worn. I don't see any particular lumps. And when I spin it here, I don't see it being out around on the side. But you can see the outside here is somewhat badly worn. I would change both tires with the same brand. You can even see here little chunks coming out of the tire. This is a two-wheel drive van, so you can get away with buying just front tires. I would buy 2 new front tires and get them balanced, and that will solve the guy's problem. There's no wear on the front end when I pull on the tires. They don't pull one way or the other. But with the new tires, I would also suggest a front end alignment, because the little bit of pulling is probably because it's out of alignment. Doesn't surprise me, because I can see a lot of hits on the rim. You hit things, you're going to bend the alignment. But if you want to be on the cheap side, put 2 new tires on the front and see what happens. If it no longer pulls, that means that this worn out tire was making it pull, which would make total sense because it's pulling to the right and this is the worn out tire that's not the same as the other tire. So that makes total sense. It would pull to the bad tire. So maybe just a front tire, a couple of front tires, and you wouldn't even need it aligned. Road test it. If it doesn't pull anymore, it doesn't need an alignment. Why throw away money if you don't have to? But still, I would not buy a Honda Odyssey van. And after 2022, you won't be able to because they're not going to make them anymore. You listen to me, you probably won't buy one, but at least now you know what to look for. Let's say you're looking at one that's a few years old. If the transmission shakes or it shudders when you accelerate, don't buy it. That means the transmission is going out. This one's working perfectly fine. Somewhat newer one. It's not a really old one. But the fact they're still using rubber timing belts on an interference engine, it's kind of dumb if you ask me. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Michael Joseph says, are there any quality manufacturer of AC condenser or compressors for a Dodge Caravan 2000? All the stuff I see is Chinese. As a result, I only get a year out of an AC rebuild. Can anyone send me in the right direction? All right. Do not buy a rebuilt compressor, especially on a Chrysler product. The new ones are crappy enough. So you get a crappy new one that's broken and rebuilt. You want to go brand new. Now, you probably won't find any made in the United States. Most of that stuff isn't made here anymore. But you want brand new. Personally, I have bought hundreds of Chinese-made brand new AC compressors, and they all work quite well. Then again, I buy it from a supplier that understands the market. He knows which Chinese companies make good ones and which ones make crappy ones. And really, if you look at Chrysler, GM air conditioning compressors, even the factory ones are made in China. All the ones I see, they were all made in China. So you really don't have a choice, but stay the heck away from rebuilt compressors. You can watch my video, Why Never to Use Rebuilt Air Conditioning Compressors. You watch that video, you'll never buy another rebuilt one. You gotta go new on that. You can't try a rebuilt one because they're junky enough to begin with, and when you have a broken one that's in quotation marks rebuilt, they won't last long. Half the parts inside those things are made out of plastic, and they won't last. They don't rebuild well either because they're just replacing plastic parts, and some of the plastic parts, they'll just say, oh, that looks okay, we'll reuse that. Don't go rebuilt. Get only new. Holly says, my 2013 Honda CR-V is shaking all the time. Has a shaking problem at 25 to 30 miles an hour. I bought it with 90,000 miles. What could be wrong? You say 25 to 30. That's pretty low speed. If it's shaking at that low speed, first thing, have a guy check the tires. Odds are you have one or more bad tires. 25 miles an hour is pretty slow, and if it's shaking, then the tires are probably shot. Now, even if they're out of balance, the vehicle isn't going to generally shake till you get at higher speeds than that. But if it's shaking at 25, you got a bent rim or the tires are so worn that they're lump. I mean, if you want to check it yourself, jack it up in the air and spin the tires. You spin them and you see lump. You know the tires are out of round. It's time for new tires. Check the tires. You said you just bought it. Who knows what kind of tires are on it, what kind of shape they're in. Have the tires checked first. Now, if it's not the tires, yeah, I haven't checked the suspension. You got a bad ball joint or tie rod and the tires shake when you jack it up and pull it and they rattle back and forth. You gotta fix that first. But 25 miles an hour, that's pretty slow. I'm assuming you got bad tires or a massive front end problem like a ball joint that's ready to fall off or a tie rod that's so loose that you jack it up and you pull the tire and it goes clonk, clonk, clonk. It's gotta be something pretty serious to shake at that low speed. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.